Okay, I want you to think of any activity or hobby that you've gotten really involved in sometime throughout your life. It could be right now. You probably started it because it just simply looked fun, or it was useful, or the chances are, if you stuck with it long enough, you uncovered deeper motivations. In fact, your initial reasons for beginning may now be secondary. Maybe you picked up a guitar when you were a kid because you wanted to be a rock star, but you've played it for years and years. Now when you play, it feels more internal and you find deeper meanings in all of the tones that you produce with it. Or say you took up hiking because it was a challenging and healthy physical activity, but now you find yourself climbing to the top of a summit and just kind of sitting there and maybe pondering the universe or something. I think what's rare is for somebody to pursue an activity for its potential financial rewards and then finding the passion for it. I mean, I guess that's possible, it happens, but I think it's pretty unusual. And this also goes for starting a hobby, and then we immediately start to think, how can I monetize this thing? I mean, we live in a culture that seems to prioritize income over intrinsic or other personal values. Over the past couple decades, I've gotten to know a lot of woodworkers, and I'm always really curious about how they got into woodworking, or more importantly, why. You know, of course, there's a million different reasons. You might have seen a YouTube video and you just thought to yourself that spending a lot of money on tools looked like a great hobby to pursue. Or you might have thought that you could save some money by making your own furniture. That was a bitter pill to swallow. Interestingly, a lot of people I've talked to have taken up woodworking because they feel like almost this primal need to create something with their hands. I've met a lot of corporate workers and tech workers who find a lot of joy in being the sole person involved in beginning and completing a project that they can actually touch. And there's always a few people who grew up around woodworking. They had a family member or they took a shop class in high school. Obviously, this is a pretty rare route these days. But by far, the most common story I hear is from people who started woodworking in kind of a roundabout way, from a place of practicality, usually in order to save money by repairing things. Here's what happens. We buy our first home, money is tight, and we notice that like the deck has a beat up edge, or you have a stair railing that's wobbly, or there's like a hole in the drywall, or the hinges are broken on a cabinet door, that sort of thing. And these all seem like pretty DIY friendly repair tasks, and there's countless YouTube videos to confirm it. And then we think in order to accomplish those tasks, we're going to need some tools. And I'm telling you, it all starts with a single screwdriver. Yeah, a screwdriver to replace that hinge ought to do. And then you go to the home center and you notice that they also have battery powered drivers. And well, I mean, if you're gonna hang things on the wall also, you're gonna need a drill. And well, actually they usually sell the drill and the driver as a pair. I mean, so you might as well get them both. It's not like you're not gonna be using them for more crap around the house that needs fixing. And soon you discover that, circular saws are pretty cheap. And you know what? You could probably get one for cutting that replacement board for the deck that's all mangled. You could absolutely do that yourself. And you'll need it for other things too, such as, an idea that somebody has to install some sort of like a little cute curio shelf or something in the dining room. And then you think, sure, you could cut that board with a circular saw, but think how much better and easier it would be to cut that with a miter saw. Well, now you start to think about tool purchases as household investments. I mean, if you're gonna fix that boring old handrail, why not improve it by just making something custom? But you know what? There's just no way you're gonna be able to accurately, rip a board to the width that you want using that circular saw. So you know what? You probably might as well get a table saw. And I guarantee eventually you're going to want A, a coffee table, or B, a bookcase. It will definitely be one of those two things. I don't know why, I don't make the rules. And so by now you've been watching, more than casually watching woodworking videos on YouTube, and the algorithm is just feeding them more and more to you. And you're picking up terms like chamfer and kerf and dado, and you're trying to find reasons to just drop those into casual conversations. The Dunning-Kruger effect kicks in, and you get high and mighty about your potential as a baker. You go around thinking, there's just no way I'm gonna buy one of those cheap, flimsy coffee tables that they put in boxes and sell to you, and that you put together with an Allen wrench. Those things are made of MDF. I could make my own and save us some money. Hell, if I had a router, I could add like a Roman OG profile along the edge. Ha! Choke on that, IKEA. Congratulations, you're a woodworker, and now the fun really begins. So you start to build things that you don't strictly need, like a paper towel holder or a spice rack, and you make picture frames and gift boxes, and you spend a lot of time and care making these things, and you stop trying to convince yourself that you're saving money by making things. That ship has long since sailed. And now you start to discover that fixing things around the house is more of a chore, and it's starting to take away time that you could be spending in your workshop. So your focus is on improving your skills. And at some point, you're gonna begin to add some nuance to how you think about woodworking. Of course, you'll always be excited when starting a new project, and it's thrilling to complete it. That is always the surface level goal, but you'll start to notice that your time spent in this shop making these things is where your mind goes when you think about woodworking. It's where you wish you were when you're stuck in traffic, or you're attending a boring office meeting on a Tuesday morning. And somewhere along the way, you realize that woodworking really isn't about wood. And it's certainly not about working. It's not about tools or furniture. It became a place you always return to, a place where physical effort has a clear relationship to outcome. You accept that flaws are inevitable and that they define your work as a human, and it's a place where you can hear yourself think. If you stick with it long enough, woodworking gives you proof that patience matters, that attending to detail matters, and that making something with your hands feels like something humans were always meant to do. And as an added bonus, you'll end up with some pretty cool projects. Hey, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Woodworking for Mere Mortals exists to help people get started in woodworking and to stick with it without turning it into a grind or a side hustle. And hey, if you want to take the next step, I want to give you $5 off your first woodworking plan. This is just an easy, inexpensive way to find a project that speaks to you and see where this whole woodworking thing might take you. Head over to WWMM5 to get your $5 credit. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone.